Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today we have my week 3 college football rankings plus my updated college football playoff predictions after week 2. So going over last week's rankings and what those teams did over the past week, or last week. Number 10 was USC. They had a good convincing road win over Stanford. 9 was Baylor. They had a loss to BYU on the road in double overtime. 8 was Oklahoma. They rolled past Kent State after a slow first half. 7 was Notre Dame. They were upset by Marshall at home. 6 was Michigan. They destroyed Hawaii. 5 was Texas A&M. They were upset at home by Appalachian State. 4 was Texas A&M. They easily beat Furman. 3 was Ohio State. They demolished Arkansas State. 2 was Georgia. They got the easy win over Samford. And 1 was Alabama, who barely stuck by Texas on the road. And just so you guys know, you may be thinking, wait a minute, Notre Dame was 8, not 7. Those were my rankings from last week. Not the AP poll from last week. And again, these are my rankings, not what I think the AP poll will look like. So, this week at number 10, I feel you have 4 teams for 3 spots, with the 4 teams being Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and Kentucky. So, at 10, I'm going to go Arkansas. They had 2 really good wins to start the season, one over Cincinnati, the other over South Carolina. 9, I'm going Kentucky. They just beat Florida in the Swamp to improve to 2-0. And it might just be me, but I feel like Kentucky does this literally every season. They have a good start, they're inside the top 10, and then sometime in the near future, they go lose a game and fall out. And I can easily see that happening again this year with Ole Miss on the schedule in a few weeks. 8 is Oklahoma State. They didn't have the best performance against Arizona State, especially in the first half. But they're moving up as a result of the Notre Dame and Texas A&M losses. And when I did say the 4 teams for 3 spots, the team on the outside looking in at number 11, just outside the top 10, is Michigan State. 7 is USC. So they easily beat Stanford. They showed their offensive firepower. They scored 5 touchdowns before the half and didn't turn the ball over the entire game. 6 is Oklahoma. They almost had a scare yesterday against Kent State. It was really close to the half, but then they pulled away in the second half for the 33-3 victory, and they're at 6 because of a few teams above them that lost, like Texas A&M and Notre Dame. 5 is Michigan. So they still have a quarterback controversy. They were ranked at 4 in the AP poll, but I had them at 5, so they're going to stay right here at 5. As Clemson stays at 4. So with Michigan and Clemson, they beat Hawaii and Furman. So there's really no major takeaways or conclusions you can draw from those games, because I mean, they're not very good opponents. So Michigan at 5, Clemson at 4. 3 is Ohio State. They've remained at number 3 after they decimated Arkansas State. They had Marvin Harrison Jr. step up at wide receiver as they were without star wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. 2 is Alabama. So they're falling from their number 1 spot, even though they got the win over Texas. It was a very close win. They did it on essentially a walk-off field goal. There was like 10 seconds left. And Texas also played with their backup quarterback for 3 quarters. So Alabama comes in at number 2. And number 1 is Georgia. Georgia returns to the number 1 spot, but for the first time this season. And my updated playoff predictions after week 2. So here's where it gets tough, because last week I had Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame. So now that Notre Dame has 2 losses, they're definitely out. And I have a lot of trouble finding a 4th team. I don't think Clemson's a playoff team. I think Utah will drop at least another game. Michigan and Ohio State can't both make it because they play each other on the last week of the season. USC, I have concerns about their offensive line and defense. So I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma as the 4th playoff team, but I'm not confident with that pick at all. So that's all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you agree with my rankings, disagree, and why. If you agree with my rankings, let me know who's in your playoff, your top 4 teams, what the playoff would look like at the end of the season after week 2. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.